messing around.
You guys, we have a very interesting episode for you guys today. Landline, directed by, basically a cast member of New Girl.
Yeah.
They're so deeply embedded in the family, Mr. Trent O'Donnell, and written by Rob Rosell. You want to break it down?
Sure, let's do that. Now, in this episode, Jess is forced to crack down on teacher hookups when she finds out that Coach is doing nasty stuff with two of their colleagues. But when a charming new British science teacher is brought in, her own self-control is put to the test. Meanwhile, after a landline gets installed, Nick becomes the Loft's receptionist, dishing out unsolicited dating and work advice. Let's go to break. And we are back, as you said, directed by Trent O'Donnell, written by Rob Rosell. Now, the episode is called Landline for obvious reasons. Mm-hmm. Now, I am interested in, write it in the comments below. How many folks, how many of our listeners had a landline or knew what a landline was? Because some of them are very, very young and they are not in the age of landlines whatsoever. Some of them may have jobs where they work and they have the desk with the phone. That's still a landline. But a lot of those still use like wireless services. So I am curious to see how many of these folks grew up with one. I know the people are our age for sure, but a lot of the young folks discovering New Girl for the first time in recent years, I don't think they had landlines.
I don't think so either. I think it's like, this is what a phone looks like, like it's just like, that's the shape of it. That's how you hold it. Like there's no like grip like this.
Yeah.
I was thinking, because they talk about it in the episode when the phone rings and they're like, who's that? And I was like, oh yeah, you never knew who was calling. And if someone was using the phone, no one else can call.
Right. So, now, unless you had caller ID, which was a newer invention.
But that was later. Then caller ID came in, and then call waiting came in, where you could hear a beep if someone else was trying to call. But those were like later inventions. I remember when I moved to LA, I was renting like a floor in a woman's house. And she was like, you need to get a landline because the service up here is so bad. If you just have a cell phone, you might not be able to reach people. And I was like, oh my. So I had to have like a landline, and it cost $2 a month.
Dude.
And I was like, you guys know you're going out of business, right?
$2
a month.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It was the craziest bill to pay.
You're like,
also, I used it 0 times. The cell phone worked just fine. I think she was just a little paranoid.
You're like, can I pay off the whole year up front?
Here's $12. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, go ahead.
Oh, man. So Jess gets a call from Principal Foster, who calls her dog. Very strange. Jess calls him a son of a bitch. And they're trying to have this conversation, and it's not going well because there is no reception that's happening in the loft because of construction, which I didn't understand.
Well, what happens is when you build, so there's a million reasons why construction could do it. That maybe they're using one of the poles, one of the lines, and it reduced the service. Maybe it's a tall building that's blocking cell signal on that side of the building.
I just feel like it's everywhere. Like it's everywhere. You're gonna get service everywhere now. Like unless you're out in the woods, like it's coming for you.
Man, you'd be shocked. You'd be shocked. I remember buying years ago when I bought a house out deep in the valley, and I was like, oh, this is great. This is perfect. And then I remember I had no cell service in that house.
Get out.
It's like, what the hell? I was like, so I had to switch phone carriers.
Well, man, you were in Tarzana. That was basically like the moon at that point.
Yeah, but AT&T didn't work.
That's hysterical. So they're all in there. They're all on Nick's bed, leaning out the window. I do remember having to lean out a window in my old apartment like years ago. So all they're just trying to like get a bar so that they can have their phone calls. And they're like, no, we need to get a landline. Yeah. This is important. They all look at it. Schmidt's like, what's the rope?
Yeah. Yeah. The phone is sitting there and it's just a thing to them. It's almost like, which was shocking to me because this was 2014, I want to say 2013 when we shot this one. It was shocking to 2014, maybe. It was shocking to me just because I was like, they know what a landline is. I was like, why are they doing that? Like
They've aged us down, the network at that point. They're like, make them look like young ones.
Yeah. I was
they
like,
don't know what a
people in their
landline
30s.
is. I did love the
what that is.
flashback, though, of a smooth young Winnie.
This one people talk about a lot. I get questions about this a lot, and people send me different memes and gifs of this particular moment where Winston is smooth talking some ladies into a double date. He tells the girl to cut her fingernails, which I thought was really funny because they pitched up our voices in that one. So if you know, like every time we flash back to, young Nick and young Winston, like they pitch up our voices, which I thought was like, oh, that's interesting. But I've always had this deep voice.
I will say some people have a real sexy phone voice. Some people just have that voice.
Thank you for saying so.
I remember that they were always like, ooh, like they were so good on the radio. They had like
Did girls like that?
Voice. So that if it spoke to you like that way, then yeah, there were some people I remember listening on the radio, and you were just like, "Oh, I have a crush on this person I've never seen," but just their voice is smooth.
Sounds like cheesy as hell.
Yes.
All right, ladies. Ooh, that does it for me. I'm like, really? I guess it's better than "Hi, ladies." I guess it's better than that.
A little bit better than that. You can then just like but then you're imagining what they look like and like what they are like as a person. So you're extrapolating a lot just from the voice.
Oh yeah, but if you look at David Beckham, he's not going to look like how he sounds. He's got a pretty high pitched voice. You know what I'm saying? So if you heard David Beckham on the radio, you might miss out.
Yeah, you could count him out. You're a loss.
There's your loss.
So then we come back and Schmidt is saying he needs to go study for businessman. Not businessman magazine, but businessman.
Businessman. Yep. It's like Jay-Z's line. I'm not a businessman. I'm a businessman.
That's right. And Winnie's busy, and all of a sudden you just see like Nick is like upset because he can't just like hang out and drink all day with his boys, and he's missing the bonding and knowing what's going on in their life and all the hot goss. Mm-hmm. And he's home alone, and then his phone rings.
Yeah, the school nurse calls the landline. Turns out that she's sleeping with Coach. Mm-hmm. Right now, in her office, Jess, the newly appointed VP, she makes Coach and the school nurse sign some papers in regards to their relationship.
Between Coach and the nurse is so funny. And then when Zoe at the end is like, "It looks like you're wearing like a costume from Halloween Town," and she's like, "Yeah, Coach made me buy it. It's a child's medium." And they're both so happy about it.
Oh, man.
The greatest.
Yeah, having a work situation is crazy. I'm sure it happens all the time at schools. But when you're a kid, you always wonder, but you never really know if it's going on.
It is a sexy place. You get all these young people. They're caring. Their heart's in the right place. All these teachers. I'm sure things happen.
What? That's a terrible explanation of why a school is a great place to.
I'm just saying, if you're a single person at a school working and there's other single teachers, I don't know why it's like so bad. Why is it so bad to date?
I don't know, because you're trying to set an example for these kids.
Well, I'm not saying you have to like flaunt it, but if you're grown adults after school hours and you wanted to date, it doesn't seem terrible to me.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
You're allowed to have a love life. Where else are you supposed to meet somebody? You want your teacher going to the bar after work to try to meet somebody? Okay, so the nurse is all confused. And she's like, "So what should we put down for like our relationship status?" You put like a calamari on my finger like a ring. So I'm assuming girlfriend.
And he was like, "Is that what you got from that?"
And then Rose comes barging in and she's like, "Ernie, last night was amazing. Angela slays. She kills it. She's so funny." And then the women start fighting because Jess has blown up Coach's spot.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Turns out Coach is quite the attraction there at the school.
I love it when later in the episode he's like, "I figured out who I am. Like I figured out who I am in the school. I'm the guy that sleeps with everybody."
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, good for you. You sorted that out." Okay, so now we are back with Nick, who's alone. He's just doodling. Yeah. Just doodling. And the phone rings. And it's a call for Schmidt. And then the phone rings again. It's a call for Winnie. And then all of a sudden, he's got a purpose that connects him to his friends and his friends' lives. and he's good at it.
That's right. Now, Nick asked Winston about Judy in particular. Like, who is this Judy person?
Yeah, because then Winnie and Schmidt come back, and he presents them with their alphabetized messages.
That's right. Which is very strange for Nick, but it feels like he did find his purpose in this one, which was like, I'm going to be the secretary.
The only thing that was shocking about it is that he knew the alphabet.
That was shocking.
That was the only part that was shocking, that he alphabetized it. I believe he took the messages and he would enjoy like hot goss. But when he alphabetized it, I was like, man, Jess really rubbed off on him in the relationship. That's a very Jess thing to do.
That man knows his ACBs. And I'm like, why are they all on different types of, how many different types of sticky notes do they have?
You know what I think it is? I just bought little, almost like recipe cards, cue card things. And they usually do come in a multicolored pack.
No, this was beyond multicolored. This was like different shapes, different sizes. I'm like, he could have just grabbed one singular notebook and just wrote it all down on one note, but but he did not do that. And that's fine. This is television. Now we're now Judy, it's a girl that Winston met at the driving range. He's like, I didn't know you were golfing. He's like, no, I just go to watch.
Yeah. That sounds like me.
You go to a driving range to watch?
Yeah.
No, you don't.
I wouldn't mind. If I would go with somebody who wanted to golf. I don't like to golf. But if they're like, do you want to just like hang out? Sure. I love watching sports and sporty things. You can bring me to anything where people are doing sports or sporty things. I mean, golfing is a really fun one to tag along because you often get to go in a cart and you get to just like drive around. That's kind of fun.
Yeah. Yeah, but like the driving range is literally just one person hitting the ball over and over and over.
Yeah, but you like chat. I've been to the driving range with someone before and I just like hang out.
And you didn't swing a club at all?
No.
Oh, Hannah.
I'm a good hang. I don't know what to tell you.
Hannah, I'm not sure if you know this about me, but I am a sponsored golf pro.
Arnold, is that you?
I am.
What is that?
It's a golf brand.
Is it really?
Parsons Extreme Golf.
Oh.
And they're looking after your boy now.
Are they?
Looking after your boy. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm straight up and down.
You're gonna get to wear the green coat?
Yeah, and I mean, listen, if I keep playing my cards right, I might. I might get a grand slam in this thing. You know what I'm saying? Win all the majors. I might.
Yeah, you have a very Serena vibe right now.
I might. I'm powerful. You know what I mean? And I was just the other day, I was out there hitting some balls and crushed one of the balls so hard it exploded and then injured a bird.
Okay. It sounds like
bird survived. No. Bird survived. It might have felt that way to the bird, but the bird survived. I nursed it back to health. I fed it milk from my person.
Sure.
And it's like it's out there thriving right now.
You know what I'm here for is the representation of you being the first male lactating golf pro.
I wouldn't say first. There are others before me that paved the way for sure. But I just learned from their lead. I can't take credit for that.
Yeah.
I can't. Yeah, no. Yeah,
it's important. So important we discuss it. We say it out loud. Speaking of important, the Julian Morris is the guest star on the episode.
Yes.
He's
good old
so
Julian.
incredibly just lovely to watch.
He's great.
He's so great. He's so talented. And you can tell, it's so funny. Some people, when they're on camera, they just have that thing, whatever that magic thing is. And you just believe every expression on their face. He just has that thing. And he's just so lovely. Anyway, so here is Jess kind of giving it to Coach, being like, you can't be sleeping with all these people and it's wrong and you're in trouble. There's all these forms that we have to. And then Principal Foster introduces her to the new British teacher.
Ryan goes in you.
I can't. It goes in me, goes in Jess, goes in, it goes in
all
me.
Of us at some point.
I know. And she can't handle it. And she's now all of a sudden very much like in the micro episode where she was just like, I know I'm not shallow. And in this one, she's like, I know where the boundaries are in my workplace. She is now being tested in the most horrifying way. In last week's episode, it was with the absolute worst dude. And now it's with the absolute best dude.
Oh, yeah. Ryan goes in you. Ryan goes in you. I love at first when he's when he's introducing him. He's like, and he sounds a little. What do you say? He sounds a little different. He goes, "Go ahead, say something to her." And he's speaking loud to him as if he's from a different planet.
Yeah, it's always so amazing thing to me if someone speaks multiple languages, and usually the other person can only speak English.
Right.
And they're just like, so your country, how? And they they forget to speak English. I'm like, say the whole thing. Just say like, so how is it in your country? English. Just like say that. Just say the whole. Why are you speaking like you don't speak English?
English. You think
when that person speaks like 5 languages?
5 languages. Yes.
Say all the words.
You're the slow one. You the slow one.
Also, why are you shouting? Yeah. Okay. All right. We're gonna go to break. When we come back, we're gonna be in the 3-way call.
That's right. That's right. Which is so silly.
It is. It's very silly.
So Nick 3-way calls Winston and Schmidt, and he gives them their midday messages, which is so silly. I like his rundown of it. Nick called Judy, told her Winston wasn't feeling her, so he also sent the magazine a picture of Schmidt against his will. He just picked a random picture.
Well, he picked the most recent one on his phone for accuracy. He thought that was the best branding move.
Yes.
Which is just him like yelling at him on the couch.
Yeah. Him in a very weird looking position. Yeah. Kind of blurry photo as well.
Yeah.
And then they hang the phone up. And then Schmidt calls Winston. And I don't know where this came from or how I remember shooting it. And it's funny how they put it together, but it's literally just us going, and then I just love when Winston goes, wait, who is this? It's like, it's Schmidt.
But haven't you ever done that with like a friend? I for sure have done that with Wendy on a call where I'm like, yo, and she's like, yo.
Yeah, back in the day, for sure.
Yo, and she's like, yo. And it's just very weird, but you just kind of do it because now you're kind of both like laughing at your own little weird thing. And then finally, when you run out of all your hey, oh, then you're like, all right, so what you doing today?
Yeah.
Very real friendship moment, man. Rob Roselle and Trent letting that moment breathe.
Mm-hmm. And it worked out.
Oh my God, they just shut it down.
Oh, yeah. The meeting, they're in the teachers' meeting about relationships. And I love.
I can't. I'm already laughing. Okay, go.
No, her whole demonstration is, if you ever get into a situation with someone, you have to, if they get close to you and you don't feel comfortable, just say, shut it down. Shut it. Her arms go up. They come back down. Shut it down. And Coach is obviously trolling here at this point.
Yeah.
Coach is like, because he knows she feels some type of way about Ryan.
That's right.
And this is also for the betterment of everybody else who clearly they're like, what did he call it? Principal Foster call them hoes? He's like, they want to do it. So he asks for a visual of this.
That's right. He's like, I'm a visual learner.
Yeah.
I need to
and so she tries to
it.
get Coach to do it.
Yeah. She's like, fine, Coach, get up here. And he's like, no, get the new guy up. And what's so sweet about how Julian like portrays this is he always plays everything like in knowledge. So like, it's not like, oh, I guess I'll go up there and it's going to be fine. You see him like already looking at Jess being like, I know you don't like, I know what they're doing. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to put you in that position. And so he kind of goes up there and he's just trying to like, make this painless for her. He's already obviously the attraction is mutual. And so he's just trying to like be like, I'm on your team too.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then she talks through the example and then Coach is like, no, I need to like, you guys have to act it out. I really have to see it.
Yeah.
And then he gives her a little massage. Mr. goes in you.
Oh boy.
And she forgets where she is and what she's doing.
Oh, well, right before that,
yeah.
Right before that, back at the loft, Schmidt is trying to have you re-record the voicemail.
Oh my God, this scene.
And you're just saying it in the most plain, boring voice and he can't.
You're trying to turn on the nation.
Yeah, he's trying to the old nation aroused.
I will say, man, shout out to our writers. They really did make me feel good about myself because they really did. As opposed to last episode where they called you a 6.5. They were really selling me as a hard 10 every single episode. And I don't think I'm a hard 10. And it was a very sweet moment. And the way there's nothing more that I love than someone being like yelling and mad because they're so into you. Like, I think it's so funny. It's a funny thing. And the way Max always played it, like he was so angry that she couldn't just say it not sexy, but it's really his lens of that everything she does is just the hottest thing. And he can't take it.
My favorite is when he makes a comment later on. He goes, "Why? It was when the actual." We'll get there, but it's just funny. It's when the voicemail goes out and it breaks. When he's like, "Well, you probably because you listened to Cece's voice a million times." And he goes, "Yeah," and then I touched my peen.
Yeah. Now, once again, why are we saying the quiet parts out loud? It's so funny. The freedom these friends have in the loft. I was like, okay, well, we didn't need to say it. I also love that the Cece character just is like so unfazed. Like she knows, and she knows he's the guy to say it out loud too.
Yeah. Now back at the school meeting, Coach keeps on antagonizing Jess.
Yeah.
And this demonstration he's trying to see. And then it leads to Ryan, like you said earlier, rubbing Jess's shoulders because she looks tense. He goes, "Oh, you look tense." And he starts rubbing her shoulders. And then when she goes to shut it down, she can't. She's actually like, "Yeah, just a little lower. Yeah, just like that."
The wolf pouch.
Yeah. And then when she goes to shut it down, she actually touches his pain.
She does an accidental bonk and she is mortified because now she's just touched somebody. Yeah. This is the whole thing. She's now done this. And then she goes to show what she was trying to do and then does it again. Literal nightmare. If that ever happened to me, I would move.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Are you kidding me? Now back at the loft. Now the answering machine is not working.
Yeah. So Nick was pretty hurt because he was like loving his job as being a secretary, loving being there for his friends. It gets revealed that he even bought himself a secretary headset.
Yeah, he did.
And he was like, "Look, the computer's going to take over and all the robots are going to take over and you're going to miss me." And then guess what? The answering machine is on the fritz and it's not working. And when he's like, "Don't say anything to Nick." Right.
Yes.
Then we have the beautiful hysterical peen moment that Schmidt says about Cece. That Schmidt is the one who broke the answering machine.
Yeah. And then when Nick comes in, he comes back into the living room and Schmidt asks him if the magazine's called.
Yeah.
He says, check the
machine.
Starts out saying, "Oh my gosh!" Now Nick jokingly tells Winston that the magazine did call.
Yeah,
this is so crazy because this is multiple episodes where Nick is kind of sabotaging.
He's messed with his job. The fact that Schmidt is still employed with Nick around is crazy because it feels like he's trying to sabotage that man.
Yeah, and he's like they did call and they do want to do the interview with Schmidt today. Yeah. And, Schmidt had already left because he's trying to get the damn, recorder or whatever you would call it, the answering machine fixed. So he's gone. And Winston asked him, he goes, why didn't he say anything? This interview, man, it's very important to Schmidt. And Winston asked Nick, like, "Hey, man, there's something bigger going on here. So what's really going on?" And he says he just misses them, and answering the phone makes him feel connected to him. And Winston actually understands.
Yeah, it's a very sweet, like emotionally mature moment between both of them. It felt very shocking.
Yeah.
Oh, and then the phone rings.
That's right. It's the magazine.
Yeah.
And they want to do the interview right now. But Nick tells Winston that he has to do it. He's magical on the phone. So Winston grabs the phone. He tells Nick he needs a soda and a straw, and he also needs to get horizontal.
I will say this, as the owner of that couch, I saw you get up and put your shoes on it, and it didn't sit right with me. I got grossed up on my couch now.
A lot more happened on that couch than you probably
I know, but I don't have to see it. And it was really weird that in my body, the first thing was like, "Get your shoes off my couch."
Hannah, you know how many times we stood on that couch playing True American?
I know. I'm just saying when I watch
But
it.
when I get it, when I do it, it's like, oh, he can't step on it.
Because I know you were raised better. That's all.
You know,
Shout out to your mom.
I can guarantee you when the crew is breaking down the set, some crew members were sleeping with each other. And I guarantee you they slept with each other on that couch.
Some crew members were sleeping with each other? No.
Yeah.
I don't
think so.
You know what I do think about though is because I know a lot of people did take naps on the couch, like for the billions of years we had that couch. And here's what I really do think, and does gross me about the couch a lot.
Yeah, but it's leather, so it bounced off.
But I don't like it.
Just to squeeze you can know if you just push the cushion down, if the air comes out, and it smells like innards. It smells like bowels.
I will say, man, Winnie on the phone was very smooth and actually sells the deal way better than Schmidt ever could do. Even Schmidt, what it stands for.
Yep. Some can have money. I desire thoughtfulness.
I mean, amazing. And then watching like Max and Jake high five in the background because they're so happy. It's amazing.
Yep. There's been multiple episodes where Winston proves himself on the phone, which is hilarious. That is true. But when the writers come up with this stuff, it's like it's funny. It's very creative. It's very funny to get to add that. There's this to get so much mileage out of. Oh, this person's good on the phone. Like that very basic thought, and you get multiple episodes of hilarity out of it. Yeah. Anyway,
all right. Now we're going to wrap the episode up because Jess walks into Coach's room. She says sorry. She realizes now that it's sometimes hard to control your feelings. And then he apologizes. She's repealed the policy. How convenient. Right. But she's repealed the policy. And then Ruth pops up from under the covers. It's hot under there. Can I tell you what I thought was going to happen? I don't know if you thought this was going to happen too, because the scene was going on really long for a New Girl scene. It just seemed like really long. They were talking, Jess and Coach, and then finally Ruth pops up. And then I thought what was going to happen is you were going to see Rose pop up.
Me too.
That's what I thought was going to happen. I was like, oh man, Ernie.
What's up?
Ernie
missed opportunity. Missed opportunity. I thought that was going to happen too.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. I was like, all right. The next day at school, Principal Foster says he's tried to corral these animals, but teachers are just straight up hoes.
Oh, yeah. And then he tells Jess that, the two administrators like themselves could hook up, but he's not attracted to her. Only Asians.
Principal Foster. Again, why?
Oh, now, Schmidt, the bad boy of marketing, it's officially out.
With the photo.
In print. And then at the end, outside, you hear a boombox screaming for Winston, which I've heard before, screaming for Lamorne right outside my door. Women show up with boomboxes often. And, that's Judy. That is Judy.
Another
I don't think I've ever met Judy.
Female pick for Winston.
Yes, 100%. Oh my gosh. Let's go to a quick commercial break. And when we come back, I just want to mess around a little bit. And we are back again. Babe.
Yeah, babe.
What's the craziest in-office secret relationship story you've heard or had?
Yeah, have you had one? Have you dated a coworker?
I have.
Me too.
I have.
Again, where are you supposed to meet people? Like, I know right now, like, online dating is like a big thing, but like back in the day, it kind of wasn't. And so you met people where you met them. And of course, you're going to meet someone at work because often your boss sucks and work can be hard. And that's how like you bond and connect. And it's the person you're spending time with.
Yeah.
I think it's weird that there's this big rule around it.
Yeah, it is strange. I think just because of work productivity, of what happens when you don't work together anymore.
Yeah, but then they're just going to do it in secret. They're not going to not do it. Two people are into each other.
Well, here's what I mean. If you break up, then the issues that it causes at work. Especially if you work in the same department. Like if you're two castmates and you're doing it and you break up, you're going to notice that there is some sort of weird energy.
Yeah, but there's no rule around that on an acting set. And like, right, it's like not a traditional workplace. And so people do date on sets. Because wasn't there like the craziest story? I don't know it, but I just know it's a crazy story with like Dexter. Wasn't
I
he
don't
like with his
know.
wife and his girlfriend, and it was a whole
Damn,
layered
is he really?
situation in Dexter, and it got very messy for everybody in the crew. I think that's true. I think that was the craziest one I ever heard on, and there was like multiple articles because he had to continue working, and the women had to continue working there, and
Yeah.
it was
I
like
mean,
very challenging.
I could imagine. Yeah, that's one thing that I wouldn't date as an actor, I wouldn't date a coworker in a project that I was working on.
Mm-mm.
Now, if it had ended and you guys had a thing, then I could see it, if you pursued it after the fact. But I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it while we were working. You never know what scenarios the writers are going to write. You never know what scenarios they're going to put you in, and you never know how your partner's going to react. Like if you're a couple and then they constantly have you dating these other women that come on the show,
Yeah.
for storyline purposes, you never know how people react to that. Every week, I'm like making out with some different woman. Like you might feel some type of way about that, even though we know it's pretend.
Yeah.
And I might feel some type of way if every episode she's like doing sex scenes with somebody else.
That's right.
I'm like, that's weird.
And the
Oh, damn.
acting workplace, it is a wild thing, but it's also hard, I would assume, because if you're like have real chemistry with somebody and you're both single and like,
yeah,
stuff can happen. But I had like my office romance was just like in a normal job. It wasn't that exciting.
In Cyprus.
It was very, very chill. I think I've actually had several. And they were all like, because again, where else were you going to meet somebody?
Yeah.
But there was no like consequence to it. There was no like boss being like, I've heard.
Yeah, there was no consequence to mine. Because it wasn't, we didn't make it a thing and make it crazy.
Right.
Like it didn't. And we were in two completely different departments.
Yeah.
So
I think it's normal. People say they met at work. I don't know. The teaching thing, it does feel weird to me. Teachers, I'll say this again. I do want to hear if you have met your partner at work, was there any consequence to it? Like, it seems so strange to me. I'm here for teacher love.
What's that show with something? Remember what's it called? May December. What's that about?
I don't know. You watch these romantic movies. I don't watch romantic movies.
I didn't watch this one yet, but I should.
Oh.
I should. It's got Corey Michael Smith in it. He is a fantastic actor. I got to check that out. Anyway.
Oh, I know which one you're talking about. I read about it. I didn't watch it.
Yeah, May December.
Yeah,
it's about a teacher. Why am I with great actresses? Great actors.
Yeah, no, super famous persons in this.
Their names are, I'm dropping their names for some reason. But anyway, yeah. Did she put it in the chat? No, probably.
May December. Julianne Moore and Charles Melton. And Natalie Portman.
Natalie Portman. There we go. Yeah.
Just like a murderer's row of actors. Just like the most gorgeous, talented, award-winning trio.
I just know Corey Michael Smith said it because I just worked with him on Saturday night. He's on that movie.
Yeah, that was a big movie. I remember that.
Yeah. So anyway, he with Dexter, he dated the woman who played his sister. I remember that, but I didn't know he was married when he did it.
I think there was something. I don't know. I got to read up on it. I'm so sorry, Dexter people, if I got that wrong. But I heard that there was some real drama.
Putting out allegations.
I know. I'm so sorry. So sorry to get back there. Okay. So our next question is, should we go back to landlines? Do you remember recording your first voicemail?
I think landlines are cool because their service is going to be fine.
Yeah.
Everybody should have one because, when service is an issue, like if I'm at home, I'll call from the landline just to make sure we're clear, just to make sure we're good to go and locked in. I don't remember recording actually I do, but mine was a silly one. And I'm drawing a blank on what exactly it was, but it was one of those like, I'll act like we're having a conversation and then go, nah, I'm just kidding. Leave a message.
That's it. Everybody did that message where it was like, you went like this. Hello?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm actually not here, man. And that person has just been talking.
Yeah.
You would leave your message like that. That was so funny. Yeah, it was fun to leave your own voice message. And now you don't even do it on your iPhone. It's so funny. Nobody like leaves a message really, like records one anymore. You just kind of like, whatever.
Yeah, what I used to do was record a song. I used to record a song too. I used to have some like music playing. And then I would come in, Lamorne ain't here right now, y'all. And you just hear like some like Jodeci in the background. Yeah, that's how I used to do it. Yeah.
I remember, here's what I will say about, I remember my first landline. I used to live in Saudi Arabia. And I remember my first landline, and I think the phone number was like 6 numbers long. Like it was like so short in Saudi because they didn't have like a ton of phone. And so it was like the shortest phone number in the world. And I remember feeling really proud. I was little. I was like 7 years old. And I was like, I know my phone number. And now retrospect, I'm like, yeah, of course you did. It was like literally
six
numbers.
I hope you remember that.
Yeah, I hope you remembered 6 numbers in a row at age 6. Way back in the day, man. Here's what I will say. When I lived in the hills and I had to get the landline because she told me there's no service up in that house, and I got the landline, it was annoying because that phone would just ring. Spam people get landline numbers. And so at night, what the crazy thing was, I'd have to unplug the phone. Because you can't just be like, I'm going to put you on silent. That doesn't exist. Yeah. So I'd have to unplug the phone, and then you have to remember to plug in the phone. And I was like, this is ridiculous. I need my $2 back.
I know, because it does keep you up. I had the same thing recently because of, depending on I think it was Spectrum, when you get Spectrum cable service, they make you get the whole package, the internet, phone, whatever. It's cheaper if you get the phone included. And I'm like, all right, I get the phone included. And I had a little landline phone that I never used, but it would ring all the time.
Yes, it rings all the time.
Like, who's calling? It would ring more than my own.
No one has this number except Spectrum.
So same thing, had it unplugged.
That's right. That's what I'm trying to say. The joke of it is you can get the landline, but then it's actually somehow more annoying. And then you just unplug it, and now you just got this relic.
Yeah, they just want $2
in your house. They just need that $2, man.
Making millions that way for everybody to give you $2.
All right, y'all. That was Landline. If you like this merch, you can barely see because of my hair. It's so cute, though. The coziest sweater in the world. You can head to themessaroundpod.com. Buy it for yourself, a loved one. Good birthday gift for all those diehard New Girl fans. You can follow us at The Mess Around Pod on IG. And send in your office romance stories. I want to know. And I want to know if there's consequences, because that feels crazy to me.
Yeah, 100%. And I think there's a lot of people, the consequences are high for some people.
Lose your job because you found love.
You lose your job. You mess around, sleep with the wrong. Let's say you're in the mob and that's your job and you sleep with the head of the mob's wife.
Yeah.
That's an office romance. You'll lose your legs for that.
That's it. Those are real consequences.
Yeah. Oh my God.
All right.
Anyway, love you guys as always. Stay safe out there.
Bye. That was The Mess Around, an iHeartMedia production.
Our executive producer is Joelle Monique. Our senior producer is Abu Zafar. Bei Wang provided engineering and editing services.
Additional production from Daniel Goodman, Wendy Heisler, and Kyle Chevron. Our theme song was written and composed by Ronald Jukebox Jackson.
Catch you next time.
Bye.